The first thing Rowan Mercer noticed wasn't the expensive office, the breathtaking skyline, or the luxury that surrounded him. It was the quiet sadness hidden in the eyes of the most powerful woman in the building. And when her computer screen unexpectedly revealed an old photograph that she desperately tried to close, one heartbreaking question changed both of their lives forever. She looked at him with eyes carrying years of invisible pain and softly asked, "Do you think I'm pretty?" In that moment, a struggling single father realized that wealth could never protect someone from loneliness, broken memories, or the scars left by cruel words. Before we begin this emotional journey, please take a moment to like this video, leave a comment, share it with someone who believes in kindness and second chances, and subscribe to Spread Love Daily. Every act of support helps us continue sharing stories that remind the world compassion still exists. Rowan Mercer had never imagined his life would become so difficult before turning 35. 3 years earlier, he had buried his wife after a sudden illness that stole not only her life but also the warmth from their little home. Since then, every sunrise meant another battle. He woke before dawn to prepare breakfast for his 8-year-old daughter, Eliza, braided her hair despite never learning properly, packed her school lunch with whatever he could afford, and then rushed to his job as an independent computer technician. Some days he repaired broken laptops in tiny apartments. Other days he fixed office networks for businesses that barely remembered his name after paying the invoice. Every dollar mattered because every dollar meant keeping the lights on, buying groceries, or making sure Eliza never felt the full weight of the sacrifices her father quietly carried. Although exhaustion followed Rowan everywhere, kindness never left him. Customers often noticed that he never charged extra for small repairs if someone was struggling financially. He believed computers could always be repaired, but broken hope was much harder to restore. His late wife had taught him that true success was measured by the number of lives made a little brighter, not by the number in a bank account. Those words became the foundation of his life whenever despair threatened to overwhelm him. One bright afternoon, Rowan received an urgent call from one of the city's largest technology companies. Their chief executive's personal workstation had suddenly stopped functioning only hours before an important investor presentation. Every internal technician had failed. Someone recommended Rowan as the last hope. The payment offered was enough to cover 2 months of rent, so despite feeling nervous, he accepted immediately. The company's headquarters looked like a palace built from glass and steel. Employees walked quickly through polished hallways while speaking in confident voices. Rowan felt invisible wearing his faded work shirt and carrying his old toolbox, but he reminded himself that skill mattered more than appearance. A receptionist escorted him to the executive floor where silence replaced the noise below. Everything looked perfect, yet somehow strangely empty. The CEO, Seraphina Vale, greeted him with professional politeness. She was respected across the business world for transforming a failing company into an international success. Magazines celebrated her intelligence, investors admired her leadership, and employees feared disappointing her. Yet behind her calm smile rested unmistakable fatigue, as though years of carrying impossible expectations had become too heavy to hide. Rowan focused entirely on repairing the workstation. A damaged storage drive had caused several critical files to become inaccessible. Carefully reconnecting components, recovering corrupted data, and rebuilding the operating system demanded complete concentration. Nearly 2 hours passed before the screen finally came back to life. As the desktop loaded, an image briefly appeared before disappearing. It showed a much younger Seraphina standing in heavy rain, laughing with complete freedom. Her hair was soaked, her face carried no makeup, and her smile seemed untouched by the burdens adulthood would later bring. The image vanished almost instantly, but not before Rowan noticed something beautiful that had nothing to do with physical appearance. It was genuine happiness. Seraphina froze. She reached for the keyboard too late, realizing he had already seen it. Instead of pretending nothing had happened, she quietly stared at the photograph now minimized in the corner of the screen. Her confident posture disappeared, replaced by vulnerability few people had ever witnessed. Without looking directly at him, she asked the question she had apparently been carrying inside for years. She wondered whether he thought she was pretty. Rowan could have answered with a simple compliment. Instead, he carefully chose honesty. He explained that the woman in the photograph looked beautiful not because of perfect features but because she looked completely alive. Her smile reached her eyes. She seemed fearless, free, and filled with hope. He admitted that the woman standing before him was elegant and successful, but the young woman in the rain possessed something money could never purchase. For several seconds, neither of them spoke. Tears slowly formed in Seraphina's eyes. No one had ever answered her that way. Since childhood, her appearance had always been criticized. Wealthy parents expected perfection. Fashion consultants constantly adjusted her image. Business magazines analyzed every public photograph. Relationships often collapsed because people loved her success instead of her heart. Over time, she began believing beauty depended entirely on impossible standards. The old photograph remained hidden on her computer because it reminded her of the last day she had felt accepted exactly as she was. Rowan quietly finished his work without asking personal questions. Before leaving, he simply wished her a peaceful afternoon and thanked her for trusting him with the repair. He expected never to see her again. Days later, an unexpected envelope arrived at Rowan's apartment. Instead of additional payment, it contained a handwritten letter from Seraphina thanking him for reminding her of the person she had forgotten. She admitted that after their conversation, she had spent hours looking through old family photographs, remembering dreams that had disappeared beneath endless meetings and financial reports. She also included tickets for Rowan and Eliza to visit the city's science museum, knowing from casual conversation that his daughter loved astronomy. That small gesture touched Rowan more deeply than any paycheck ever could. Months passed, and their paths crossed again when Seraphina quietly visited the neighborhood community center where Rowan volunteered every Saturday repairing donated computers for children who could not afford technology for school. She expected a small room with outdated equipment. Instead, she discovered laughter, determination, and hope. Rowan patiently taught children how to build confidence alongside computer skills. Eliza proudly helped younger students learn basic typing while smiling exactly like her father. Watching them, Seraphina realized that true leadership had nothing to do with corner offices. Rowan influenced lives without recognition, awards, or headlines. He simply chose kindness every single day. Inspired by what she witnessed, Seraphina anonymously funded a new learning center equipped with modern computers, internet access, and educational programs for hundreds of children. She insisted her name remain absent from every plaque because, for the first time in years, she wanted to give without expecting applause. Rowan eventually learned who the mysterious donor was, but he respected her wish for quiet generosity. As seasons changed, friendship slowly replaced awkwardness. Their conversations moved beyond computers and business. They discussed grief, parenthood, failure, forgiveness, and the quiet courage required to begin again after losing everything. Seraphina became someone Eliza trusted, while Rowan became the first person who looked at the CEO without seeing her title. Neither of them rescued the other overnight. Healing arrived through countless ordinary moments. A shared cup of coffee after volunteering. Walking through the park on sunny afternoons. Watching Eliza chase butterflies while laughing freely. Every small memory gently repaired wounds that neither success nor time had managed to heal alone. One afternoon, nearly a year after they first met, Seraphina returned to the same photograph of herself laughing in the rain. This time she smiled without embarrassment. She finally understood why Rowan had called that version of her beautiful. It was never about flawless skin or perfect features. It was about authenticity. The happiest version of ourselves is often the most beautiful because it reflects a heart that has not forgotten how to love. If this story has touched your heart so far, please take a moment to like this video, share it with someone who needs hope today, leave your thoughts in the comments, and subscribe to Spread Love Daily. Your support allows these stories of compassion and second chances to reach even more people around the world. Special request, before this story ends, please comment, "Kindness changes lives," if you believe one sincere act of compassion can completely transform someone's future. Rowan never became rich. Seraphina never stopped facing difficult business decisions. Life continued bringing challenges neither could avoid. But both discovered something infinitely more valuable than wealth or recognition. They found someone who saw beyond appearances, beyond titles, beyond painful histories. A single father repairing a broken computer unknowingly repaired a broken heart. And a lonely CEO searching for beauty discovered it had never disappeared. It had simply been waiting for someone kind enough to remind her that the brightest light in any person has always come from within. Sometimes, the greatest miracles begin not with extraordinary events, but with one honest answer, one compassionate heart, and one simple question that finally receives the truth.